Hello, everyone. I'm Kyle Kramer, the Executive Director at the Earth and Spirit Center, and I'm joined once again in yet another promo video by my good friend and colleague, Karen Newton. Hi, Karen.
Good morning.
So, Karen, we were talking a little bit before before we turned the recorder on that we've been doing this several times, and I'm thrilled to report that you have a long and wonderful track record of offering a basic mindfulness for stress resilience course for the Earth and Spirit Center. So I want to dive in with you about that course because there's a special twist on this course in its new iteration that I think is exciting to share about. But for those who may not be familiar with you, can you just say a word or two about your own mindfulness practice and training and how you came to provide this kind of instruction?
Yeah, thanks for the invitation, Kyle. It is first and foremost such an honor to be here with you again and gearing up for another season of teaching basic mindfulness. And I came to mindfulness meditation beginning over 40 years ago with fits and starts, as many people have, and then finally settled into the tradition that I currently practice and teach, which is called mindfulness, vipassana, insight, that brand, if you will, of meditation that does not teach that we should expect our thoughts nor our feelings to change necessarily as a result of meditation, but we change our relationship to them. For example, you don't necessarily continue to believe everything that you think. We develop this capacity that has been so meaningful in my own life, my personal, my professional life, my healing in my life, that we develop a wisdom about life experiences so that we can show up with purpose. So I've been practicing this tradition for 20 years and have been teaching since 2015 when I got certified to teach this particular curriculum called Real Mindfulness.
You make such an important point, and I think it's actually two points there. I so appreciate. I want to kind of underscore that mindfulness is not about getting rid of your thoughts or controlling them in any particular way. It's about observing that because I think the mistaken notion that mindfulness is indeed just getting rid of them turns it into this exercise in perfectionism and kind of self-criticism when, of course, inevitably you can't do that when your mind keeps wandering around and having all kinds of things pop in that you wouldn't necessarily like to be there, but there they are. And I think the second thing that I so appreciate about your approach and the approach, this kind of mindfulness in general, is that when you begin to take your thoughts a little less seriously, then you're not shooting the second arrow. Then you're not adding all of the overlay of stress and suffering onto just your regular life experiences that have their own measure of stress that's unavoidable or suffering. You're not adding to it by pretending like, well, I should be able to get through this, and I shouldn't have these thoughts of worry or anxiety or pain, when indeed they're perfectly normal. They just don't need to like take center stage all the time, right?
Right. And the other misunderstanding that I still hear so frequently is that somehow we should be distant and separate from our experience. So how do anybody who's curious about that apparent concept that doesn't make sense, how can you have an experience, not be engulfed by it, and still fully embrace it and own it? That's the curiosity that we have that comes into play in this practice. This is an embodied practice. We're not separating ourselves. I use the term body mind when I teach. And the neuroscientists who inform our meditation world these days say that it's ridiculous that we Westerners practiced meditation as if it was an effort to separate from our body. That is farthest from the truth.
Right. So what we're
sensate experiences is partly how we're informed about how we're reacting to the world. And if I'm full of anxiety, my body's giving me all kinds of clues.
Yeah. And the point of the practice is not to float above that, but to be in the midst of it.
Be aware of it, not overwhelmed by it, not washed away and not numbed. And in these days, the tendency for people to numb is profound.
Absolutely. Particularly these last 2 years, I've been having a lot of conversations about the trauma that we've all collectively gone through, and the
Yes.
tools we need to navigate that well.
Mm.
So speaking of tools, speaking of getting down to brass tacks with this course, there's a kind of exciting development in this course. Once upon a time, this was a 4-week course, but we've been in conversation over the last couple semesters of about how we might expand that. So now I think we can say officially we have expanded this to be a 5-week course. Can you say a little bit about what has been added on?
Yes. So the core curriculum is called Core Mindfulness, and which originally was designed to be a 4-week course within a second 4-week course.
Mhm.
What seems to be working here for the community that participates with us is a 5-week course that includes not only the kind of the basic concentration awareness practices, but also an additional week so we can teach and practice loving kindness, which is a compassion practice that is really needs to be part of the package
Right. And another
for a
good point, it's
basic understanding of how to navigate this world.
right. I mean, another good point that learning mindfulness is not just about calming, quieting your own thoughts, as we just discussed. It's also not just about you, it's about others. It's about sending good intention and energy out for the healing of the world. So that last week is really taking mindfulness out in the work of Tikkun Olam, to heal the world. Would you
And
agree?
not to contradict you, friend,
Oh, no,
but
please do.
every single session is not about you.
Okay.
From the get-go, what we're doing in this course is creating a community of people who come together with curiosity and suffering and want to hang out with other people to explore this possibility that we can live in this world with purpose, not numb, not angry beyond function. That's the possibility that we explore in community, and that's the pleasure and the pain of this. The concept of inner being means, oh my gosh, it's not about me. Every person on this planet wants what I want.
Well said. I am happily corrected by you, Karen Newton. So just to talk details here for a moment, this course, again, Basic Mindfulness for Stress Resilience, a 5-week course that begins September 29th. It'll be conducted on Thursdays with 2 different time slot options, a 10 to 11:30 in the morning or a 7 to 8:30 in the evening. Do I have all those details right, Karen?
That's my understanding too. Yeah.
Okay, all right. If for whatever reason I'm wrong there, the links in this video will send you to the right information. You can find that also at www.earthandspiritcenter.org. And again, this is Basic Mindfulness for Stress Resilience. Karen, we're looking forward to this course, this new 5-week version of the course. Thank you so much for being on board with it.
My pleasure.